Hello, Cancer North Node. How are y'all feeling? I'm looking in the camera right now and seeing how dark my eyes are. It's been a rough couple of days, huh? I hope everyone is practicing self-care and maintaining faith and courage and really operating from a position of trust, I guess. I'm going to be honest, yesterday I tried to do your reading. This is for Cancer North Node, if I didn't already say that. And it was just chaotic. Ultimately, once I got into the tarot reading, it was okay. It seemed to be like some kind of love issue, hurt, maybe pain, breakup, something. Can't even quite remember, but the energy was just all over the place, and I just felt like I just needed to leave that and get myself a little bit more grounded. So I'm going to do your reading today. Okay, so I've already pulled, I've got one card from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck from Kim Krantz, and let's see, one came out from the Wisdom of the Oracle, as well as the bottom of the deck card. And then I do have the bottom of the deck card from Kim Krantz as well. What do I want to say? Okay, so I will timestamp when the actual tarot reading begins, but these two oracle cards that I draw, or the two from the two decks that I draw, it's kind of getting a little bit of a sense of the overarching theme. So what did you get? You got the river. Okay. You see the horse in the image. Anytime I see a horse, I think of spirit. And when I think of river and or any water, I think of, emotions, but I also think of spirit in a way, and flow. So let me read to you what she says in the book. The stream, the flow, the current. There is a reason so many rituals of change and rebirth take place in the river. It is forgiveness embodied in physical form. Without asking anything in return, the river washes away what is no longer necessary, smoothing over sharp edges and accepting all our mistakes and grievances. A lot of this came out yesterday, so I'm really curious what the cards are going to say today. Once we step in, we are no longer in control. The river carries us farther down the stream of transformation than we plan to go. Its waters have a special gift for reflecting back to us a new and dreamlike vision. Once the tears have passed, we see ourselves as we haven't before, with a little more lightness, grace, and fluidity. Keep in mind, the you that stands within the river is the real you, full of deep emotion and potential. Nothing to hide, nothing to judge. May you drink in the sight of your true self. When in light, acceptance, grace, reflection, and forgiveness. When dark, torment of emotions, flooding, and overwhelm. You can only resist the river for so long. Eventually, it will pull you towards change, so you may as well get in with style and grace. And then at the bottom of the deck was Kairos, okay? So this is the energy that's kind of moving from the past, present, and into the future. This is about a different type of time, if you will, a timelessness and sense of eternity. So it's mythic time, synchronicity. We have all had the experience of timelessness, of life beyond the ticking of the clock. A single moment ripens with auspiciousness, and our actions change the trajectory of our whole life. Remember that sentence because it comes up here again. Time becomes a living thing that watches over us and tells us precisely when to speak or act. It is when light, alignment, ease of decisions and action, and when dark, fighting against time. I think this is really just a message for you to, stay in the flow of what is happening. Trust the flow, trust the current, trust the processes of healing, of letting go, of forgiveness, of, needing to go through the things that we go through in life so that we can become more of our true self. Okay, and so this card that came out in Wisdom of the Oracle is number 13, Fork in the Road. Yesterday there was lots of cards about kind of a choice. And again, it seemed to be around a relationship or love or something. Yeah, we'll see. I would say something that maybe pulling to you, like the siren card came out, so it was calling to you, but there was this whole sense of, if I go in that direction, it could be misleading and not good for you. But let's see what 13, Fork in the Road. Time to make a decision, considering the consequences as you prepare to act, owning up to your obligation to make a necessary choice. Every choice has a consequence. You've arrived at a fork in the road and are being asked to come to a decision. Will you further your dreams by choosing left or by choosing right? Will you take the road less traveled or the one well worn by others who have come before you? This is your choice and yours alone to make. Circumstances and other people will not make it for you. Be present and do not avoid this junction, for it is an important crossroads. Take heart, as no matter which path you choose, you will have a rich and meaningful experience. Okay, and bottom of the deck is the Thinker, number 44, in the protection position. Okay. You might be suffering from analysis paralysis. Thinking has its place, but trying to figure everything out logically is not going to work right now. Your conclusions will likely be faulty, and you may act upon false assumptions that will get you in a jam. Give your mind a rest, do something creative, exercise, or meditate. Soon you'll come to your senses, and an aha moment will bring clarity. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave these cards out for myself, and let's jump into the tarot. Let's see, what are we looking at? About 8. We'll do 825. All right. So what are the? Here, I'll shuffle in front of you. I've already shuffled multiple times, very completely, over and over and over again. Today with the new energy, and also cleansed decks in my space, but we'll do it right in front of you here a couple times. Okay, for Cancer North Node, the current challenges that are being presented. What is this river and the fork in the road? Current challenges for Cancer North Node. You watch me before, you know I do not like it when multiple cards come out, but here we are. I'm going to put a pause on here because my cat is outside meowing, wanting to come in. Okay. All right. So you got Knight of Wands. Ten of Wands. Ace of Cups. and the Tower. It looks to me like someone maybe hot and sexy is sort of coming, maybe is either coming back to you or is coming towards you. And there's a couple of things. If you choose to ride along with this impulsive knight, or if you are the Knight of Wands is an impulsive energy, this could be a lot of work for you. What I really think is the challenge is, and what is coming to me just sort of right off the bat, is that you're going to walk away from that. And it might be hard, it might be difficult, but you need to keep working and moving towards healing, towards self-love, towards towards something new and cleansing and freeing and maybe something that this may be something, some sort of a love for yourself that you've not ever experienced before. The Tower isn't always bad, right? It's a complete change up of what has been built up previously. And I feel like this is almost like a moment of grace, an opportunity that is given to you to choose self-love, to choose self-forgiveness, to choose forgiveness for what has been, but what has come before, you know, what you have gone through before. And there is a real possibility here that it's just kind of like a little wonky little layout there, right there, I think. But there is a possibility, though, that you would choose the easy button, which is, you know, sort of the thing that I've always done before, because I don't want to do the hard work, and I don't want to, you know, maybe like I don't want to spend time alone, or I don't want to feel all the feelings that I have. So I'd rather just push the easy button and go for the, you know, the marshmallow, the marshmallow test, right? Like the kid that can't wait and has to have the marshmallow. Now, the one marshmallow rather than the two marshmallows. If you don't know about that, Google the marshmallow test. You know, when we get into relationships or situations where something kind of exciting and enticing comes in, rather than restrain ourselves or look at like the patterns that we've been in previously, that really don't work for us. They just never, they're not healthy. They can be fun, but they just really, they're not healthy. We just choose to go in that direction rather than the hard work of choosing something different and learning to, be with and love self so that you can then truly be in a relationship that is validating to the love that you already have. And we're not seeking validation from something else that, seems hot, quick, and exciting, right? So I'm going to be done with that. All right. And you gotta think real, bottom of the deck is the King of Swords. You've got to be really practical about this in many ways. And, that's not necessarily a Cancer North Node type of energy. That would be a more of the Capricorn energy. And maybe that's what's making it challenging for you. I think the challenge is to remain above what things seem to be. Okay. Certainly some detachment is going to be required here. Why am I just noticing he's got a ring and it is on his middle finger? I don't know why that's sticking out to me. I'll just let you know, yesterday it really looked to me like there was an existing relationship, and that there was a pulling on you to maybe move in a different direction. And that direction, I wasn't quite sure. It didn't look to me like it was going to pan out either. And I don't remember the whole reading, just some pieces, okay? So let's move on and see what your strengths are now. What are the strengths present for North Node? Cancer. Okay. Ooh. Bottom of the deck, okay? This came out yesterday as well, in the challenge position. So really kind of deliberating, what trying to balance, trying to keep things in balance while things are kind of topsy-turvy. There was this topsy-turvy thing yesterday as well. I don't think, based on these cards that came out, I don't think that you're necessarily doing a really great job balancing things. I think it's causing you some distress. So why would it come up in the strengths position, do you think? It's a good question. Let's see. Well, if there is a third party situation, and you're trying to figure out, which should I choose? Could be this the reason why it's in the strength position is because you are capable of being connected emotionally with what is going on, that you're able to recognize that this is causing stress, that and you're able to be with the stress rather than necessarily choosing something so quickly, and you're able to kind of see that there are many options, there are many different choices, rather than to act impulsively, rather than to think you're entitled, to have whatever it is that you want, rather than trying to be in a, space of control. Looks like you also could, if you wanted to, be willing to seek out consultation with maybe a therapist, a counselor, someone who can help you, work through it. If you're being faced with a choice here, and it's a choice in a road that you've gone down before, and it's not, maybe it's acting on impulse, right? Or acting with your, sort of base instincts. I want what I want because I want it, and I'm going to have it because I want it. And maybe you've never worried before. Maybe you've never stressed about it before. Then this card can be positive. There's a dilemma, or there's something. I'm saying dilemma because you've got the 2 right here, causing you to really consider the possible outcomes, the potential for fantasy. And for me, that's a pretty good indicator that it might not be time to act, or it might be time to make a clear no, right? But you have this fork in the road, but you also have the bottom of the deck here in that protection position. Watch out for the analysis paralysis. Okay, and 7 of Cups. If you've watched me before, 7 for me is always about potential. It's about the potential for growth, for spiritual growth, for a spiritual leveling up based on what you choose to do after this kind of resting space of the 7. Like, okay, so being given this opportunity to create, what will that be this time? So again, an opportunity to maybe do something different, to recognize fantasy for what it is, to recognize that maybe even that sometimes, we have to make choices and not be able to see how everything is going to pan out, but just kind of trust that you're in the flow, and trust trust in doing the hard work, trust in divine timing, trust in, Okay, 5. So we've got a change in the emotional status here. This is what to leave behind. Staying in grief and holding on to grief, or maybe even the poor me. Bottom of the deck ended up being same thing here, and underneath that, what is Five of Pentacles. So tendency to leave behind is, this focus on what was lost rather than on what is still remaining or what the potential is. Because when he turns around, there's this bridge here, right? This isn't like a raging river, right? I mean, it's emotions. But it's not about to drown him or overtake him or, but if he's just kind of choosing to stay here and just focus on these spilled cups. I have never ever noticed the color or even paid attention to the color of the liquid that's coming out of the cups. And so it looks like two of them are flowing with red and one with green. So there could be this sense, red being from your root chakra and green from your heart chakra, could be the sense that, you've lost something from your heart that has made you feel safe and secure. Could be, family, could be spouse, could be job even, really. But there's an emotional connection there. But it's time to turn around. Change is upon you. And it's time to understand that, you don't have control over everything, and we have to accept how life shows up and not become despondent. Cloaked in black. Oh, it's all over. Turn around, pick up the cups, walk. Here's the little castle, house. Walk back across the bridge and get back here. Okay. You have some true healing. True healing. Pick up the cup. The cup is being offered by Spirit. Will you be willing to do that? Will you be willing to share with others and maybe even, talk to someone about what's going on rather than holding it all in and believing you have to go through something, alone? Okay. What to focus on? Whoa! To move. Well, there you go. Yeah. Wow. How did this get in here upside down? Or in reverse? Well, Cancer, North Node, at least it's consistent. I mean, you've got some similar cards coming out in different positions, but the message is really just the same. Two of Cups reversed. The cup that, if there is a cup being offered to you, it's a hard no for me. Underneath that is the Hangman. Wait, take some time, right? There's a need for clarity and enlightenment and perspective. We got the King of Swords earlier, higher perspective, not acting on impulse. Just because there's this offer, it maybe looks, it looks good, sounds good, feels good, maybe even. So what to focus on? Healing. Trusting in your place in the whole of creation, the whole of the cosmos. The sun is right over your head. You're part of this Aquarian energy here. I mean, look, if you took each little point, right, of this person, it's almost like this is a constellation in and of itself, and the water's here, and the water's flowing freely. I had a meditation once, and a message from Jesus came to me. I'm just gonna say it, and he showed me. I was walking by a fountain, and I was in a lot of pain over a relationship, and kind of rethinking, like, what's going on here? Like, why does this keep happening? What do you want me to know? And he had me look across the street. There was a fountain and a lake, like a man-made lake, in the design plan communities where I live. And I was like, okay. And like I said, for me, I connect water with emotions and spirit and being in the flow with spirit. And so he reminded me, like, you can walk on water. Because I'm a part of it, that all. The flow, spirit. There's no differentiation. You can heal. The flow, the love, the abundance is with you, and you have the two water vessels just pouring out, because you are it. But I think you have to learn that. You have to know that. Cancer North Node, you've got you that's a water element. Emotions. You've got to do this healing, because your healing impacts the rest of us. It impacts the collective. Your happiness, your knowingness that you're one with all is very important, so that you can be free to let go of this need for control from the South Node in Capricorn. If you're free to allow others to be free. Okay, so potential block here for Cancer North Node. Wow, do I look like something the cat drug in? I can't believe how dark my eyes are. Actually, I can. I feel it. Okay. Potential block for Cancer North Node. Potential block. And the blocks that I look at, I draw from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck from Tori Hartman. Okay, bottom of the deck is Impatience, and I only read them upright, and they're all mixed up in there. It's fine. Potential blocks. Well, here we go, dear. Victim. Talked about that earlier. Got to leave that behind. Rejection. There's these heads, right, that are all kind of these talking heads all around him. You know, that internal critical voice, that real critical vibe that can come from a Capricorn South Node. Shooter. Yeah. Wow. And release. Yeah, I think yesterday you also had the death card, so something needed to be done with, right? And okay, so release. Left behind, let go. But let's look at the book. So in victim, we're looking at that heart chakra, right? The green acorn indicates that being in denial may be holding you back. To move forward, you must make an honest assessment of your situation. Okay, we cannot afford to be in fantasy or delusion. We have to recognize as your strength position that there's a tendency to delude or to be in fantasy when making choices. This is a potential illusion. How are my personal inquiry? How are my actions connected to my inability to create breakthroughs? Am I willing to make new choices in order to grow? Key ideas: feeling blocked, blaming others, past resentment, got to do that healing, deluding yourself, potential for greatness. Whatever seed you plant is what is going to grow, right? All right, and the next one is rejection. Remember, these are potential blocks for you getting to this space. Healing. You don't have to be on the inside track. Be true to yourself and you will not be unhappy. Rejection is spirit's protection. Personal inquiry. Am I working with or against my environment? We got those messages in the oracle cards, right? Am I in the flow? Can I trust the flow? Will I let go and let the river carry me as far as I need to go? Or am I going to struggle? Or am I going to push the easy button? What is the purpose of my present solitude? You know, if you need solitude, you can still pick up these 2 cups and walk back and be in your castle, and heal. Or is it, you know, victim mentality? Key ideas: others' approval, unsupportive environment, working alone, and arrival of a teacher. That Capricorn South Node is more likely to work to hold everything in and to not allow themselves to be vulnerable, to be seen as vulnerable. Their fear of being seen as weak or needy. Where Cancer North Node has to really become comfortable with being with, asking for, being vulnerable, not needy, but open and experiencing and emoting. And release. Inspiration. This is about personal responsibility and release of blame. It is time to clear the debris and move on. You cannot move forward while you continue to hide. Personal inquiry. This indicates healing family of origin issues. Am I ready to face my past and let it go? Key ideas: release, dwelling on the past, righteous anger, change in consciousness, judgment day, seeing clearly, hidden truth, great discovery. Okay, and the bottom of the deck there was impatience. We talked about that earlier. Okay, and highest possible outcome here for Cancer North Node. Well, this little guy just needs to be at the bottom of the deck. I don't know what that's all about. Keeps on being there, but okay. Well, we got the choice. Or a here's okay, so we got Two of Swords and we got the Hierophant. Taurus energy. Taurus, so we got Taurus and we got Uranus cards here. Taurus and Uranus are either they have come together, they're in some kind of aspect with each other where there's a real like sense of like polar opposites and how they're kind of confounding each other, really. Can cause frustration. But Two of Swords, the way I read Two of Swords, you know, sometimes it's denial, but I often see this as someone who has decided that they really need to go within and they need to quiet all of the voices, you know, the committee that's inside your head or what other people, you know, tell you to do or that you should do, or, you know, like the family of origin, you know, messages. And this person has to go shut everything out and go within. Maybe they're very still, very still. This water is very still. There's some rippling, right? She's almost one with this thing that she's sitting on, this concrete stone bench, right? It's just very still. Until it gains clarity, because this came up for me, until this being connects to its own sense of what is right and what is wrong, morality, integrity, intuition, higher self. And this could be a complete change, right? We got the Tower card earlier. It's going to be a complete change of anything that you've ever done, anything that you've ever known. to be true for you. It could also be a choice regarding a marriage, regarding a commitment, regarding faith, beliefs, belief systems. It's a willingness to be with whatever this is that you're dealing with. Okay. And one more final message from the Archangel Metatron Self-Mastery Oracle deck by Amanda Ellis. As above, so below. Feels like, is this no, it's 41, another 5. Okay, yeah, so change is upon you, right? You're working with spirit. The timing for you to be going through this is on point. Will you take this opportunity? Will you understand your place in the cosmos as a co-creator? The pink and the magenta around here, this for me is about trusting in life, trusting in spirit. It's that sense of no matter what's going on around me, that I'm trusting. That it's where I need to be. It's for my own growth, ascension, enlightenment, purpose. 41. You're reminded that the rewards of heaven are accessible to you now, here on earth. You do not have to wait for an imaginary place and state of plenty and peace, a heaven that is out of reach and inaccessible. Heaven can be here today, as can all the glories of the beauty of God available in each waking moment. Look at the symmetry of the majestic blossoming tree reflected in the water. It shows that all is the same, both above and below. We realize this when we stop to pause and consider all that we came from, all that we are, and all that we will become. The cycle of life and the sacred wheel show us there is no beginning and no end. Likewise, there is no place outside ourselves. It is all connected, all joined, all one. I mean, you got the repeating messages all throughout, and all of the readings have been this way, so which is really amazing. Look at the exquisite splendor and see it reflected not just in the waters of the lake, but within yourself. For you hold all this treasure within you: beauty, light, love, grace, and wonder. You are but a reflection of the divine. It can be no other way. You are a mere image of that from which you came and to where you will return. The principle as above, so below is also important for you right now. Be aware of the need to honor both your divine and earthly states, and do not neglect your own physical self at the expense of the spiritual, or vice versa. The body's needs, good food, enough rest, time to relax, are just as important as the desire to expand intuition, learn more, meditate, and so on. It may also be that you need to balance planting your own roots firmly and deeply, nourishing what is below with allowing what is above to flower and thrive and be sustained. You're also encouraged to take that which is learned and acquired and bring it to the everyday, whether you be a healer, teacher, shop worker, or engineer, to walk your light, plant it, and be the bridge between heaven and earth, for you truly are the embodiment of both. Okay, Cancer North Node, I hope that helped. Be well, and thank you. Take 1 second, please, if you liked this reading, to hit like, share, or subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.